Okay, boys, we are live. This is FPL Live. Welcome to the show, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. I am joined by the infamous FPL Hints, the Chief, and the Stag. How are you guys?
Not doing too badly
Hello.
now, Luke. Not
Hey,
doing too
guys.
badly.
So welcome to the show, everyone. I want to let Chief tell you about the competition we have tonight. I'll just leave it at that. Chief, you want to tell us a bit?
Absolutely. Hello and good evening, the world. We have another fantastic competition sponsored by Classic Shirts. Give them a follow on Twitter and also check their website out. They've kindly donated a £25 voucher uh, for the prize, and the competition will be as it has been for the last two shows. Tweet us your most compelling stat or pop it here on YouTube. We will shortlist the best stat and we'll put the vote to YouTube, and there will be a winner at the end of tonight's show.
Should
On
probably
that
worth
note,
noting as well that those stats will need to be somewhat linked to game week 11, so preferably no stats from, La Liga or something. We want game week 11 slightly focused stats at least.
At the
Last week's
minute.
stat was arguably nothing to do with, game week 11 or game week 10, but yet it won. So, we're not talking about like a real link here. We're just talking about something that we can at least apply to next weekend's planning.
So at minimum,
absolutely.
Premier League related. That sound good?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
at least this season.
All right. You
Well,
guys want to get us started, Chief? You want to hit us up with the first
ab-
question?
absolutely. I'm going to hit this one to our friend Mr. Stag. The talk at the moment seems to be about our friend Gundogan of Manchester City. He's obviously been scoring a fair amount recently. Is he a one-trick pony, or do you think there is some value in him, or is there an alternative sub 6 million midfielder that is worth investing in instead?
With the Gundogan, it's kind of interesting in that whatever way the system at Man City under Pep Guardiola plays, it seems to favour his, well, previously unknown to me anyway, goal scoring ability. I think I was writing during the week and I thought I saw that Gundogan scored about once in every 10 games while he was at Dortmund, something like that is what it broke down to. While he has 5 goals in his 10 games so far for Man City. So are we talking about an Etienne Capoue start of season style situation, or are we talking about a consistent goal scorer? That's what we're really talking about.
Yeah.
I think for 5.7 million, I think I'd be right in saying his price has risen a little bit. I would be, yeah. And 10.5% ownership, I think it's worth the risk. I really
Yeah.
do. I think he's worth your fourth midfielder slot. And as well, City have suddenly restruck form. They've Middlesbrough at home, Palace away, and Burnley away next. After obviously those two away games come after the international break. But I still think Gundogan, it's a yes from me.
Yeah, I think it's.
It's a no for me.
Oh, you're a no, Chief?
Oh,
Okay, tell
yes.
us.
But I'm going to let you have your say, Luke, and then I'll tell you why I say no.
Okay, so for me, it's a yes. It's not a convincing yes. I don't think he's the next Riyad Mahrez of last year. I don't think he puts up enough attacking stats to really rack up that many goals. But for the price, that's that sub 6 million price zone. I think he's just about the best option at that price bracket. I think he's better than Joe Allen in terms of potential. Man City scoring as many goals as they do, he's in a position to score all the time. And so I think honestly, right now in the stage of this season, you need to have at least one budget option, whether it be a budget forward like Charlie Austin, or if you want to go to your midfield, I think Gundogan's a good choice as well.
Before Chief, you add in, I'm going to add a very good stat that Donica Brennan's after throwing in about Gundogan, since it's never going to be more relevant, or Gundogan, as someone else, James Parter, is pointing out to me. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing it. But Ilkay Gundogan has scored 3 goals in 6 Premier League appearances. Only once before has he scored more goals than that in an entire league season, and that was 5 for Nuremberg, in the Bundesliga back in 2010-2011.
Right, so I'm here to spoil the party, guys. Look, Ilkay Gundogan, and I'm going to pronounce his name that way. I think that he's basically a polished version of Etienne Capoue. I don't think he's going to score goals week in, week out. I think there are other players in his price range that offer more value, who are playing in more advanced roles regularly, who are more prominent and important in their teams. Now, here are some examples. Joe Allen has been playing in effectively an attacking midfield role in the last few games. He's been getting goals and assists. I think he is more viable than Gundogan. Then you've got James MacArthur of Crystal Palace. I'm pretty sure he's averaging like 5.6 games per game this season in the Premier League, albeit not consistently. Now, with Gundogan, there's two things that really put me off. His goal-scoring ratio over his career, it's not been that great. He's never averaged, more than 15 or 20% strike rate. In addition to that, when KDB is fully fit and he's playing in that team, and then you've got Sterling as well, I just feel that Gundogan as an attacking force will get squeezed out, and he won't get those attacking returns in the long term. Yeah, he's a short, cheap Man City midfielder. I just think that, in the long term, with City's easy games, he might get 2 points or 3 points rather than 2 goals or 3 goals. That's where I stand on that.
I just want to point out, if you're trying to find value in your team, Ilkay Gundogan is not going to score the same amount of points as Charlie Austin. It's just Austin's in the better position to score a lot of the time. So I think really the value to be had is at that forward line, because they're still going to score you points, whereas if you downgrade, you're going to be picking up a player like Capu or like Gundogan, and it might be problematic. So yeah, that's my take on it. All right, you guys want to move to a new question, or you have? Yeah, go ahead.
For sure. I've got one from Donica Brennan that I think. Or wait, Chief, you were going to say something there, were you?
Just to wrap up, Matthew Charles has brought up a quick question on Gundogan. Is he playing in the Yaya Toure role? I believe in the last game he sort of was. I don't think that will be the case in the games ahead. Let's move on to the next question.
Question coming in from Donica Brennan, already getting his second mention of the night. Considering fixtures and ownership, is there an argument to get KDB in for Sanchez?
For Sanchez?
Replacing Sanchez with Kevin De Bruyne.
No, I don't think you should replace Sanchez with KDB. I think if you can find a way to get them both in, that's a good pick.
But what happens if we go back to that substandard Sanchez? Substandard, God, that's harsh. But, not performing up to his price tag, Sanchez, when Walcott is back in the team?
Yeah, it's tough
what
to
happens
say.
If that happens?
So you thinking that...
I don't know. I think there's definitely an argument. I think that De Bruyne is probably a more consistent attacking returner.
I think he's more consistent, but I think Sanchez also is more explosive.
Of the games, I'm just looking at stats. His play since he came from the league.
Yeah,
There's been one single game week that our friend Kevin De Bruyne has played in where he hasn't returned a goal or an assist.
Yeah, I think their points potential is similar. I wouldn't use a transfer on them. I think there's more pressing moves to make a lot of the time than to make. It feels like a sideways move to me. What do you think, Chief?
I'm going to make an addendum, actually. My stat was actually really poorly done there. There's actually 3.
It's okay. I got I think I said earlier that Joe Allen's stats were worse than Gundogan, and Kian McKenna called me out on that. So thanks for Kian. Chief, what do you think? Sanchez, De Bruyne.
I think that, I agree with you. To an extent, it is a sideways move. I wouldn't make that move personally myself. I would only sell Sanchez if his form has gone off completely off the boil, or he's suspended or injured. I would want KDB in my team, but the only way I could do that is if I completely got rid of all my premium defenders and, probably got rid of a Rashford, get some cheap 4.5 striker at the top, and then sort of squeeze him in. But I don't think it's worth it. I'd only get.
But I'll throw a curveball to you, Chief. Chief, you have to consider this, all right? What's going to happen after the international break? What are we all going to be talking about?
Who gets injured?
Okay, who got injured? But let's say in an ideal world, Sanchez plays for his country, Chile, but doesn't actually get injured. What are we all going to be talking about, though, in that first game against Man United? The early kickoff against Man United.
Yeah, you're true. We're going to be worried that he's not going to start, right? Is that what you're getting at?
And suddenly we're talking about Kevin De Bruyne, who does not have to play Spurs at home, the best defence in the league, and Man United away in the next 2 games, along with an international break at the other side of the world. You're talking about a cheaper player then as well.
That's true.
I think the I think the argument for that sideways switch is huge. Like, we're going to have a situation here, I wrote about it in my column this week, where everyone's going to have broadly the same midfielders. We're all going to have to jump on, let's say, a Liverpool midfielder. We're going to have Hazard by the looks of it now. It looks like Sanchez is going to be necessary. And the way you're going to beat people is by having the right midfielder in the correct week.
Yeah, I think you nailed it right on the head there, Stag. Hazard looks good. KDB looks good. If Sanchez's form dips off, I think you have to get rid of him quickly. Chief, what do you think?
I think purely as a hop-on strategy, if you want to take that risk and sell Sanchez for 1 week and get KDB in, I think it could pay off in the sense that Sanchez, may not play full 90. But then I look at that match, and Mourinho has always had the best of Wenger in the Premier League, and part of me feels that Sanchez would probably play the full match because it's so important. So, there's that side to it as well. But then again, City have the easier fixtures in the weeks ahead. I couldn't sell Sanchez right now, and I guess it's just one of those things. But on another level, KDB is probably a differential among the premium price midfielders. Can I give you guys some stats that we've had for tonight's show? Can I read some out?
Please, stats are what we need.
Right, so let's just bring them up.
Okay, I'm going to actually start. I'm going to make a short list here. I'm actually going to use a pen and paper to make a short list for everyone's sake.
Sounds right. That's a good move.
Right, so since 1996, Arsenal have picked up just 1.59 points per game overall in the month of November. Win rate of 46%. That's the curse of November that Arsenal suffer from, and that's from John at Lebo on Twitter, which I think that's a very interesting stat. Another one comes from the Dream Team legend. Harry Kane has scored 4 goals in three games against Arsenal, and apparently he's back in the squad. Could feature in the weekend match. And here's another stat for you from Mr. Henrik Larsson. Man United have only converted 1 of their last 91 attempts on goal.
I saw that one earlier. I saw that one.
That's impressive.
It's ridiculous.
Yep.
It's unreal, and I would imagine at least 20 of those have come from Ibrahimovic as well.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that save that Tom Heaton made last week.
But wasn't there even a ridiculous stat? Like, I can't remember how many shots it was as Zlatan took. It was going around on some of those little infographics afterwards. But it was upwards near enough to 10 shots.
Yeah,
he singularly had.
I know. In my Play Target team, I had Juan Mata in my team, and he didn't even score and racked up 28.5 points, which is considerable. So yeah, I mean, United just have not been clinical.
I just want to give another random stat, actually, and this is related to touches and successful passes over the last 3 game weeks. This comes in from Mr. FPL_fly. It's Fernandinho. How surprising is that?
Saw that one with Fernandinho.
It's impressive. He's potentially our most important player for City.
Right. Okay. Talking about important players, I'm going to segue off that back to questions again. Someone, I can't remember who, I'm sorry, we've got an awful lot of questions this week. Like, way more than, I think, all the other weeks combined in terms of questions.
We did get a lot of interaction.
So many stats and so many questions. I'm loving this.
Yeah.
Anyway, someone asked, and I'm sure someone else asked too, is Hazard now essential? Keep it short, but is Hazard now essential?
Yes.
Everyone
3
screams
goals,
yes. I would
3 games. Chelsea have got some form. The fixtures may not necessarily be great after the Everton match. You've got to get him in your team.
Yeah, I heard on the FML FPL podcast they were talking about Hazard, and it's so tough because you can't afford all of the heavy hitters that are scoring goals right now. So you have to take your pick. I think Hazard really is a great option right now. Having Sanchez, Lukaku, and Aguero for me, I'm not inclined to move for him just yet, but he's at the top of my list for guys to come into my team, hands down.
Yeah, you see, usefully, I'm in the situation where I don't have Sanchez, which was, a large part of my horrendously poor game week 10, which I'm sure all of you saw me crying about at various stages, especially you two. But it means for me that I can make a pretty handy sideways move, maybe from Payet or even Dele Alli if I cut costs elsewhere to get in Hazard. It's looking like a pretty tasty move for me.
Yeah, I like that move. That's a good one. If you can find the funds to manage that, I think that's really, really good.
Yeah, I was daydreaming during the week about it, but I actually haven't checked my numbers because this is, I have to admit, this is like my second time logging into FPL all week. I've just had to take some time
Yeah,
away.
you've been in the dark.
No, guys, I don't think you understand how in the dark I was. Like last week, just to give a recap to you people. So in the end, in the last few seconds of the last show, you can go back and you can literally hear a terrible mistake being made live.
Yeah.
I decided I was going to captain Dele Alli. I went, screw it. I'd been making the point all the week, night, that he was going to be the one who was going to do well. The stats pointed towards it. Yeah, I had a game week rank of 1.9 million. I didn't. I captained Dele Alli. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I had 4 points off Dele Alli, as opposed to whatever. I could have got 124 or something off Sergio Aguero. So ridiculously good.
Yeah, that's tough. Guys, do you want to quickly just go through our weeks, talk about our teams, how they did?
Sure.
I'm done on that topic anyway.
All right, I'll go. So I picked up 89 points. I had a really, really good week. A game week rank of 92,000. And I dropped about 60,000 places down to 35k. I captained Aguero. I had Lukaku, Coutinho, Sanchez, Firmino, Holebas, and Williams both get the clean sheet. So I had a really, really good week, and yeah, I'm feeling really good.
So with myself, I scored 85 points. I was ranked 724k. As a result of those points, I'm now 379k.
Wow.
Had Aguero, had Sanchez, had Lukaku, had Lovren, had Firmino. So, I actually got extremely lucky. What's bizarre is I actually had a good start to the season and then all of a sudden hit a few reds. And despite only having one red arrow in the last 5 weeks, I've not made the progress I was hoping for. So I'm hoping that with my mini wildcard that I've played this week, i.e. 2 free transfers and a -4, I'm hoping that investment will be viable for the long term. And on that note, can we take another question, guys?
Yeah, sure.
Well,
I
we're
got
first
one
going
right
to take
here.
stat. No, we got to get this stat first
Okay.
because this is a good stat and I don't want to lose it. It's Mr. Slick Trader 6 coming back in after last week's victory. Radio. Dimitri Payet has created more chances than every player in Europe, bar 2, despite missing 30% of the season. And he also added that that's playing for West Ham, and with Andy Carroll coming back into the team soon to head those crosses in.
I'm actually not convinced that Andy Carroll is going to slot back in just because Andre Ayew is fit now. I've heard a lot.
To be honest, every one of them, at least he's got a better striker than your man Taylor Fletcher, or whatever his name is up front. That's this is. I know. I don't even know his name.
Yeah, I mean, whoever comes back in, I think Pyatt is a good shout for points, but there's so many players at that 9.5 million area region that are scoring points, and I don't know his points off the top of my head, but I don't think they've been quite as good as Hazard's or KDB's. Am I correct? Or
Who Payet we're talking about right now?
Yeah, has he just been?
No.
Has
He's
he
on
gone
43
crazy?
at the moment. He's catching up, but his last even the week before last he was pretty good. He got 7-point haul or something.
Yeah, I think he got an assist
it's
last week.
I'm finding it hard to trust him, despite the fact that he may have that unreal stat. I can't trust him anymore. I just can't, especially with Hazard doing so well.
Yeah, and with Hazard on penalties too, that's just an added value for him.
Yeah, it's huge. I'm just going to actually an interesting side note is that, okay, Antonio has 5 goals for West Ham. Who has the second most goals for West Ham in the league?
Jeez.
So we're talking about Antonio on 5. The next person is on 2, and he's out by himself on 2. There's only one other player.
Is it
has scored
Manuel
more.
Lanzini?
Winston
It's
Reid.
Lanzini. Wow,
Yeah,
well
I
done.
knew it was
Yeah, it is
Lanzini.
Lanzini.
He's a sleeper.
And play.
He's a sleeper.
Yeah, and then all of West Ham's strikers have scored as many goals as I have in the league this season.
Wow.
Has
That is
Dimitri Payet only scored that wonder goal this year, right?
Yeah, yep, just that goal where he
That's
decided
crazy.
to beat
That's
everyone. He
crazy.
kind of made up for it. And then you've got Winston Reid with 1 and Collins with 1.
Wow.
That's pretty poor.
Great. All right, guys.
just-
To think I had both Payet and Antonio for a little bit.
Go
Imagine
ahead,
that.
Chief.
So, so this has come from John Lebo. Sorry, guys. Heaton has made 58 saves so far in the Premier League, and that's 22 more than any other goalkeeper save points. That's by John Lebo on Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a thing actually I keep noticing every single season. I kind of mean to think of it a little bit more as the season starts. Is that remember Marshall a few years ago was doing ridiculously well for a lot of the season as well in terms of points, and it's like sometimes investing in an expensive goalkeeper really isn't worth it.
Yeah, and it was like
really
Aurelio Gomez last season.
There you go. Yeah, Gomez last
It's
season.
kind
There
of
you go.
the Tom Heaton of this season. I think by far Tom Heaton is the best keeper to own right now, given his price and given his points potential. Because when Burnley are away, they just set up shop. They completely shut down, and Heaton. You saw what happened last week against United. I think he made 11 saves. Just unreal. I think he's the best value keeper in the game, hands down.
One person who'd be very happy to hear a stat is the Chief. Liverpool have kept a clean sheet in 3 of their last 4 meetings with Watford.
Wow. Well, I've got Lovren.
In spite of being, yeah, exactly. That's why you'll be happy. In spite of being one of the most inept top defenses in the league. There you go.
Wow.
Yeah, and I wish
And
I had Lovren.
I just want to come in with another
don't.
stat from our friend Mr. Potter. There's never been a 0-0 draw with the North London derby at the Emirates ever. So that's a quite interesting stat. So yeah, bench your defenders, guys. Should we
He
get
actually
another-
added it. He actually added to that tweet there. I think he just added to it there, made an addendum to it. There's been 41 goals in 10 Premier League games at the Emirates for North London derbies. Yeah, bench your defenders. He screams.
Yeah, so I'm not feeling great with Hugo Lloris in my goal, but what are you gonna do?
It was a fantastic idea.
It was. Guys, I have a question from Padful. Padful's a good friend of the show on Twitter. He says, heard some late worries about Middlesbrough's defense shutting down City like they did Arsenal. But hashtag always Captain Aguero is a thing again, right? So for me personally, yeah, Aguero's my captain. What do you guys think?
Same here. I agree completely.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
Yeah.
That's what I would say.
So we're all back into the Aguero captain boat, which is it's a good feeling to have. He's going to score 3 goals this week.
And the fact of the matter is we're all on the same sinking ship as well.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right. When Aguero fails, we all fail. So
Me too.
that's we're all in it together.
It feels
But
good to
then
know
we're
that
all-
I
we're
have
all-
friends.
It's kind of weird, like we're all just hoping then for some guy like Holebas to come out and get a 15-point hold and just dig us out of trouble.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
Exactly.
Everyone like looks around at the most unlikely goal scorer in their team and just prays, just like gets out all their like Ouija boards and everything.
You know, when
Yeah.
Holebas scored that goal this year, we all on Twitter had him, but he was only like 0.6 ownership, so it was really like a pretty
So,
niche community.
it was a really odd one. It was just like the community rejoices, finally power to those with knowledge.
Yeah, we
now
were
he's
all-
up to 8.9.
Yeah, we were all flying.
8.9%.
That was a good week. That was a good week.
We've got another stat, guys. This has come from Nikki Soralot on Twitter. In terms of ratings for matches, Wilfried Zaha is the most informed English player, according to Who Scored. The average rating is 7.78. I'm surprised it's that high, considering the lack of goals and assists, but there we go.
That's
Let's get
surprising.
Nowhere near my team. Yeah, he's going nowhere near my team. I'm just going to say as well, just a kind of a bit of a more normal issue on FPL related. If you're supporting the show, guys, we'd really appreciate a like on this video. It would just be really appreciated in terms of just improving our search engine optimization and stuff on YouTube. Just get this out there a bit more, you know yourself.
Subscribe.
Good shout. Good shout. Yep, the likes on YouTube is really helpful. And we have a guy on Twitter, Jerome Ferris15. He says, it's only taken 3 weeks for this podcast to become the best FPL podcast there is. Hashtag
Wow.
FPL Live.
One man knows how to win a voucher. That's what I say.
Thanks for the kind words, Jerome. Unfortunately, I don't think you're going to be entered into the drawing this week, but get a Premier League stat in, and you might win. All right, you guys have another question?
An unfair advantage. Morgan or Stone?
I just want to say something, guys. For my mini wildcard that I mentioned earlier on the show, this might come as a shock. Well, not a shock. I got Eden Hazard in, which I guess is pretty standard. I also, who else did I get? There was another player I bought a defender in. Sorry, I've just mind blanked.
I'll dig you out, Chief, and get your Twitter account up. How about that?
Sorry.
I'll dig you out and tell you your own transfers. How does that sound?
Oh, I can tell you now. It's
Oh, good luck.
Mr. Fuchs in defence, but the other midfield option I've got is James MacArthur. Am I crazy, or do you think I've got logic in that pick?
I thought you were going to finish with James
Um,
McCarthy, and I would have thought then you were absolutely off your pot. It's interesting you've gone for Kasper Schmeichel when he's out injured. Or not Kasper Schmeichel, but Fuchs when Schmeichel is out injured.
I bought him before he got injured.
Oh, here we go. We've got a man making transfers early.
Yeah, you got bit in the bud.
Price-wise, there was two. I was in this weird situation where I was going to suffer a price fall and a price rise, so I had to act on Sunday night.
It happens to the best of us. I did the same thing, I think, last week with Coutinho, and it worked. But you have to.
It worked well for you, Luke. but
You
it
have to
didn't
do
work
it
out for me.
sometime. Hey, you never know. It might still work out. Leicester have really good fixtures to come.
I know, but
everyone's
who
shocked
is
that
Leicester's
I'm
second
early.
keeper now?
People are in shock that I've done the early transfer. James MacArthur has got fantastic stats. I'm not going crazy. He's going to score this weekend, I think, or I hope. Get him in your team. As a guy, I bought him for 4.9 million. You know, what's the worst that's going to happen?
Oh, Jack Rodwell? I don't think we heard you. Yeah, Jack Rodwell.
He could miss a penalty and get sent off. It wouldn't be totally off the wall with this season.
I'll read the stat out. It says Jack Rodwell has gone over 800 days without a Premier League win at Sunderland. 33 games, 15 draws, 18 losses. And that's from Jerome
There are
Ferris
probably-
15.
There are probably babies who have been born who can say Jack Rodwell's name and have never seen him score.
Wow.
Good stuff.
That's a thought. And just someone is pointing out it is indeed Zyler who'll be coming in for Leicester in goals. I just blanked on that one.
Guys, I have a really, really pressing question I want to ask, and it's from Rizla0683 on the YouTube channel. He says, is Redmond a threat from Boufal?
Say that again.
Not yet, but it's not. It is Redmond. You know, his position in the team under threat, I presume, is what he's getting at, because Sofiane Boufal is coming into the team. I'm going to say not yet, but it's coming.
It's coming.
Yeah.
I don't even know what formation Southampton play. Are they playing a two-striker system?
I think Nathan Redmond's erratic positioning suggests he also doesn't know.
That's good.
I've seen them play Austin and Redmond up top together sometimes, and I'm pretty sure at the start of the season Redmond was playing up top with Long as well.
He was,
so
yeah.
It's almost like two up top, but maybe in certain plays, you know, Redmond drops off. But yeah, Boufal, he is a talented player, and he will eventually dislodge a Southampton attacker, and most likely Redmond will miss out.
So I have a theory. I have a theory that Southampton's going to go to a one-striker system and play Boufal on the left, Austin up top, Redmond on the right, and Tadic in the hole. What do you guys think about that?
Could definitely see that happening. Didn't Austin work at his best in a one-striker system back then in the QPR days with, you know, when it's like Zamora would come on and what was the other lad? What was his name? He scored like 2 goals in one game and that was about it. Big lad.
Don't ask me.
Hoylett.
Who?
Junior Hoylett.
No, it's not Hoylett I'm thinking of. Guys, bail me out here. I expect the comment section to bail
Put it
me
in
out.
the chat. They'll stag out.
I think he was South American. He has like really big strength on FIFA and long shots, if I remember rightly from a few years ago. Here we go. Quality
I
journalism
know
right
who
here.
you're talking about. You see, he's Argentinian, right?
No, not Argentinian though. This guy. Oh no, he was playing in Italy for a while.
Help us out in the chat, guys. Kian McKenna says Vargas.
Yes, thank you, Vargas. Keane
Vargas?
McKenna. That's my man.
MVP
Yeah,
of the
Vargas.
show.
That's what I meant. There we go. MVP is right. Holy God, thank you. Keane McKenna knows his FIFA or just knows his QPR. Which one is it, Keane? Anyway, that's the man. So Vargas used to come on and kind of bail him out every so often, but for the most part, I think if I remember rightly, it was Austin up top.
Yeah, so I think that in order to accommodate all of the talent on Southampton, I think that's the formation that they would have to play. Whether Puel goes for it, that's another question. But
Interesting thought that I saw as well online is that because I think I mentioned it even a show or two ago, was that because Tadic has played like so much and he's basically the main player for Serbia as well when the international break comes around, is that he's playing so much football that Bufal will actually swap in less important games in order to let him be rested. Because let's say Southampton right now, I don't know if they're taking Europe seriously. I think they are personally. I think now they're really in trouble in terms of actually qualifying. They eased it last night and they beat Inter last night, so they're in slightly better position than they were. However, Bufal could easily be just an easy person to rest Tadic for, and eventually then it might move to that one striker system. But
Yeah.
for now, it may stick with this two striker system. As well with Bufal, he's a card risk, serious card risk.
Yeah, and I think that
yellow card every 3 games last year.
I think for the FPL game, I don't think Tadic is a good pick, just because you can't change your lineup. I know I own him in the Taga game in a draft league, so you're able to go in and actually take him off your lineup if he's not going to start. But yeah, I mean he's quality, but FPL quality is a different story, and I just think he's too much of a risk. I think Austin is really the only guy you can really own.
James Parker suggested that we all chip in to buy a mini Jack Rodwell figurine for Keane for his.
That's actually a really good idea. We'll think about that. And Kian, hit us up on Twitter if you want to go through with that. I've got a cool...
Maybe someone would just make the graphics of it.
Yeah, that would be good. Send in your Photoshop pictures to us of your mini Jack Rodwell.
Preferably in the hands of Cian McKenna.
Exactly. Okay, I've got a question from Jason Yorath. He says, is cheap defense still the way to go? It's a good question.
Purely because of all of those really good, expensive midfield and striker options, yes.
Yeah, I agree. I think Ashley Williams is my most expensive defender. I've tried the ever living daylights to figure out a way to get Eden Hazard in for Theo Walcott, and it's just not happening. But yeah, I think cheap defense is the way to go. There's so many forwards just scoring loads of goals right now. It's really a fun time to own all of these heavy hitting midfielders and forwards.
What I'm doing at the moment is I'm almost waiting to see someone who's playing the game in such a kind of maverick style that they play with, let's say, they play with one defender. All the rest of them are like, sub 4.0s. If that's even, is that possible yet? Can you get 4, sub 4.0
I
defenders?
don't think there's any sub 4.0 defenders available. I don't think there's.
Have we not got one yet?
I don't think so. I don't think there's been anyone that has been so highly owned and then got dropped. Like I know Reece Oxford last year did that.
Reece Oxford, he was gone after I don't know, 5 weeks maybe.
Yeah, I think Jordi Amat.
We have one. We have. Browning is 3.9. Pennington is 3.9, and Lenihan is 3.9. So I want to see someone with the 3.9ers, one 4.0, and then one half decent defender who actually plays. But then they've got 5 across their midfield who are just absolutely unreal, and they've made this system to work.
You have to start at least 3 defenders, though. That's the problem. Is I don't.
Oh, but if they've invested the money elsewhere, they can still. Let's say you've got a dud third striker as well. So you're just playing this absolutely, all money invested in midfield. Absolutely mental fest. It's playing the game totally differently.
I mean, you can do it. You can do it with your midfield. If you take the 7 spots, you have to have one budget option somewhere.
Well, what we're talking about is having a Diamand or even cheaper-esque figure up striker. You're probably talking about someone who's even cheaper who doesn't ever play. You're talking about then Aguero, Costa, De Bruyne, Sanchez, Hazard, plus one other Liverpool midfielder. You'd probably go for Coutinho. I don't know, maybe even a dud other midfielder. And then maybe you could even have 2 starting defenders at the back there who are just not so expensive.
Potentially.
And then one goalkeeper.
I still think it's too... I mean, it's a fun question to talk about and consider, would we have 3.9 defenders? What
I will do is I will run the numbers over the weekend. I'm going to make a pledge and I will come back to you to see, would it have been possible to do better than any of the 3 of us next week running a system where you had 2 dud defenders who didn't even play, who were that cheap.
That's
okay,
good.
I'm going to do that.
All right, I like it.
This is my new theory.
Okay, I've got a stat here. Let's see. It's from Matt James at Carlson1. I believe that's an I. And he says, Troy Deeney has only had 7 shots on target all season. # dump him.
Hashtag dump.
And I've already dumped him. He's out of my team.
Yeah.
Get him out, please.
Very, very dumped. Joe Allen has been directly involved in more Premier League goals this season than Ibrahimovic and Pogba combined, says Baskar P. That's
I can't believe this. I can't believe Wee Joe is actually scoring more points than Zlatan Ibrahimovic.
This is an interesting lesson in economics that I can't quite nail down.
It's mental. It's mental. I mean, it comes down to when's it going to end? Do you think it's ever going to end?
Yes.
Chief, you're back. Chief thinks the Joe Allen train is going to end.
Not yet, though. It won't end yet. But I think so. Here's the caveats, guys. So long as he's playing as he's playing, so long as Stoke have a good run of games, why would it end? Quite frankly, he's playing in an advanced role. He's an influential player. Stoke have been winning when he's been doing well. So I think if you've got Joe Allen, you're not going to sell him anytime soon. Can I just caveat something here, guys? I would like to nominate, after reading through, that's what I was doing, reading through all the stats that we've had, and I'd like to nominate my shortlist for tonight. Is that okay?
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah, sure.
So the stat that John Lebo gave, it validates what my friend was saying about Arsenal's November curse. That, for the last 20 years, Arsenal have only picked up 1.59 points on average in November. The win rate is 46%. That's quite fitting with people, having a lot of Arsenal coverage, and they've got a hard run of upcoming games. I nominate that as my compelling stat of the night.
Okay. I've got my stat if you want me to read it. It's the Henrik Larsson stat. United have only converted one of their last 91 attempts.
Okay, that's okay. So we've got Larsson and Man United attempts. Okay, and then I swear that there's no untoward behaviour going on in the background here in terms of corruption, but it's Slick Trader 6 that I'm nominating yet again. This time it's his Payet stat. It was unreal, and I've actually managed to lose it in the midst of everything. I presume he tweeted it because it's Slick Trader 6. Because he does that. And he did. Yeah, he did. He did tweet it. Sleep 26, which was Payet has created more chances than every player in Europe bar 2, despite missing 30% of the season.
Wow.
So, all right. So I think we do the same gig as last week with this.
Yeah, so we'll put it to the YouTube vote. But before we do that, can we just take another question, if that's okay?
Yeah, sure. One more question.
Sure. I don't have a question with me. You guys got one?
Has anyone dug one up? I just seem to be seeing loads of statements.
Yeah.
I have.
You guys want to just do the vote right now?
Just one question. So it's something that Sushant Garg is asking on YouTube, and it's something that we actually did sort of cover about, should we sell Sanchez for KDB? What he's saying, is it time to ditch Sanchez for Hazard for the next 2 weeks? Once Sanchez navigates the tough fixtures and also the international break. And what my gut feeling is, it's a sideways move, exactly like KDB. Probably not, but it's it depends what your situation is.
I like having two free transfers going into the break as well.
I'm pro. If you need to make a move, I'm pro dumping him. If your fingers are that itchy, I think it's probably is preferable to have 2 free transfers after the break. But if you have a team like mine that suddenly looks as bleak as mine does, then I could definitely see you needing to make a move. And fair enough then. So what I see, one of you, I don't know which one of you is logged into the FPL Live Twitter account, but one of you is doing the short list of the stats. So that's pretty useful.
We've
is
got
that
a
you?
premature. Oh no, that's Chief.
Oh, Chief. Oh, good work.
Yep. So in a
Sanchez
minute,
apparently has some Messi-esque tax troubles down the road. Ken Rooney. That's a big assertion to make, especially with Ireland's defamation laws.
He's been a bad boy. He's been a bad boy.
Okay, so what I'm going to say is I'll start the vote with... Okay, so I have now put in the chat box the word now. Every vote is now allowed from now on. So I want you to say, you can say Arsenal, Payet, or... No, what's the other one? I can't remember what the other stat was.
The United shot stat.
Oh yeah, United shots, Arsenal or Payet.
Yeah, so that's the Arsenal stats in November. It's United's only 1 conversion in the last 91 shots taken, and the Payet stat is that he's missed 30% of the season, but he's still got, what was it, Stag, if you just remind.
He's like second or third in Europe, in spite of the fact that he's missed 30% of the season in terms of chances created. Okay. Oh my God, it's all it's so Payet.
Yeah, Payet is.
Get the Arsenal in. I want to help this guy win. Say Arsenal. Just put Arsenal in the chat.
You guys just don't know how to back a winning horse, guys.
All right. We Joe's boot said actually United stat is funny as a blank. I won't say that word. I vowed to not swear on the show.
In fairness, he's gone for the slightly, cuter equivalent.
Yeah. All right, so I guess it looks like it's the Payet stat.
Hold on, guys. Hold on. Man United, Arsenal. Yeah, it is Payet.
It's got to be Payet. Was that Slick Trader 6 again?
Wait, sorry. We're 57 seconds in, 58, 59. There, I gave a full minute for the voting.
Wow.
Right. Yeah, I mean, let me just count this up, guys. Let me just count this up. Could it be that Slicker's got all his friends on chat, maybe?
Yeah, like...
Yeah,
That's actually there's actually a conspiracy going on. Ari Hiroki is actually Slick Trader 6 as well.
Wow.
As well as... Who's the guy that always asks about eggs or chicken?
I think is that Max?
Max.
Is that our friend Max?
Max, yeah. Yeah, Max is also Slick Trader 6. And Cian McKenna is also Slick Trader 6.
And James Carter as well.
Oh, James, of course, Jamesy.
Yep.
So, guys, are we saying that Dimitri Payet stat has won? Is that right, scientifically? Looking at the YouTube
The
chat?
Dimitri Payet stat has won scientifically, but didn't Slick Trader 6 win last week?
Are we saying that that's just a bit much?
I think to be fair to the other listeners, we should go with another one.
But it's a two-term presidency.
Let's for the sake of spreading the love, let's do the vote again, and this time it's the Man United shot stat, and it's
Let's get a
the
third
Arsenal
stat.
curse stat.
Okay, we need a third stat at least to just make this. I think the Heaton one is also pretty whacked, isn't it?
We need
Do you want to throw that?
Okay, yeah.
Well, should we do it again? Should we do it
Okay. We have a revote this time. I'm gonna type now in, and it's Heaton, Man United, or what was the other one? I always forget the
Man
third.
United or the Arsenal curse stat.
Yeah, there you go.
We're being called Don, guys.
We
We're being
are.
called Don.
Rigged. Justice for Payet. Clinton. No, we're not having. This is not a debate.
United.
Okay.
Heaton,
It looks like
Arsenal.
this
United.
is-
Arsenal. United. Heaton.
Hold on. Ready, steady, go. So we got the now.
No. The now was from when I said it, Chief.
we've
I said
already
it now
gone.
way back in the chat.
Oh, you did. Okay.
We've
Oops.
been going for 25 seconds here, Chief.
So I think United is off to the quick start. Heaton's a close second.
Wait, are you going from Chief saying now?
No, from you saying now.
When you said it.
Oh,
When you-
okay, yeah, okay, right, grand. Okay, 43, 44, 45 seconds is ample time. Okay,
Arsenal, guys. Arsenal in the chat. I can't see Arsenal anywhere.
I think, Chief, your horse has fallen at the
Yeah.
first fence.
Okay, I think I'm gonna call it. I think it's gonna go to the United stat, right?
Yeah, United stat is winning after Hillary Clinton and Tom Heaton had a good start.
Okay,
United
so
stat.
Henrik Larsson on Twitter, contact the chief. He'll take care of you. You've won this week's classic shirt prize. Congratulations.
Hold on, guys. I've got a feeling, and this just to add to the mix here, I've got a feeling someone else has tweeted that exact same stat on Twitter.
Oh no! Oh no!
I kid you not. So let me just check this.
Well, okay. Regardless, Chief, the stat has
Oh,
won. and we might
no.
have to contact him in
Oh no!
person.
FPL forecast did the same one,
He did.
and he was
FPL
earlier.
forecast.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Can I make a suggestion in that case? Let's split the prize fund. FPL forecast and Henrik Larsson will get half each. How does that sound?
Yeah, that seems fair. That
Sure.
seems fair. There you go.
Sure.
That's
Spread the love.
there you go. It's democracy. The
All right.
wealth is so fair spread that
Cool.
Yeah.
So Henrik and forecast contact chief. He'll help you out. Do we want to do one more question? Do we want to talk about our transfers that we made this week?
Yes, please.
Okay. Do you guys have a
you-
question
you-
ready to go?
One of you go.
Okay. All right. So I guess we'll just go into transfers then. Okay. I've got one more question. Lebo, John on Twitter, is it time to ditch Arsenal and Spurs defenders with both their difficult run of games coming up? We kind of hit on this already.
Yeah.
I think it's probably time to ditch them. They're overvalued. They don't seem to be keeping as many clean sheets as we'd like.
I think I might hold on to one, but not the other.
Yeah, that's fair.
With Spurs, Toby Alderweireld, he's injured for a certain period of time, so that's definitely going to weaken them.
Did
And
you see how much of a mess they were in Europe during the week?
just a complete disaster. Like they're at home.
Defensively, I've never seen Spurs so poor defensively in the Pochettino era.
No.
Not in my own mind, anyway. I can't think of another game that they were that bad.
I'll admit I didn't watch the game or see it.
Just coughing up chances,
Yeah.
just like it's everything you don't associate with them, as well as the customary loads of shots that they don't score.
You think it's a one-off? You think it's gonna continue?
Well, I don't know. I haven't made. I'll just go through my transfers quickly because there has been none. I don't know. I really don't know what I'm gonna do. After last week, I've dropped 50,000 or 60,000 places to just inside the top 100k. It's still a respectable position, but I think my title tilt at number one in the world is probably over for another year.
No.
I know, yeah. What'll I do? I'll probably find a way to get in Hazard. Maybe for Payet, maybe even for Dele Alli.
We've got a hashtag going on, Justice for Payet. I think a lot of people are upset that Stat didn't win. Your horse won the Grand National Stag, but he got disqualified, and now they're asking for him to be reinstated. Unfortunately, he won't
We
be
have Payet
reinstated.
for president in there too.
Yeah.
I think what we'll say, can we put our friend Slick Trader 6 back in the running for next week, as in that he is a viable winner again next week.
Yes. So what we'll do is, if you haven't won the previous week, you're re-eligible the week after,
Okay.
after a miss. But can I just make a suggestion
Sure.
for our American listeners? And I know that you've got the elections coming up next week, and I know that in some states you can do write-in candidates. I want you to write. If you want to spoil your vote, I won't encourage it. But if you are, write Dimitri Payet as the write-in candidate, and justice will be served.
Fun fact. I was once at this seminar thing, and you were able to tweet in questions that the people who were speaking had to answer, and you were able to put in whatever pseudonym you wanted to put in as for anything. And I put my pseudonym as Dimitri Payet, and I actually had the most upvoted question at this whole entire seminar and the whole entire evening as Dimitri Payet. There you
That's
go.
it. So
Life-
Dimitri
life
Payet for
story.
president, everyone, right?
So as Sushant Garg says, hashtag we'll make Payet great again.
Yeah, I like that.
That's good. That's good.
Okay, I think we've come to a logical conclusion here with Payet, being dethroned for one more week.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll try and wrap it up pretty quick. My transfers, like Stag, there are none. The only problem in my team was Theo Walcott. It looks like he's going to be fit to play this weekend, so I'm going to hang on to him this week. Yeah, I'm just sitting tight after a good week, and that's my plan.
Sure.
And Chief, do you have any
Let's
transfers
wrap
you want
things
to
up
talk
totally.
about?
Or
My transfer, sorry.
Yeah.
yeah, well,
It is that mini wildcard that I executed out on Sunday night. I brought in Hazard. I bought in MacArthur. I bought in Fuchs. I sold Antonio. I sold. Who else did I sell? What have I sold now? I sold Coleman, and I also sold some other bloke. But that's pretty much it. I'm
you
just
can
hoping-
confirm that other bloke was a Premier League player.
It
yeah?
was Walcott.
It was Walcott, yes, it was. I hope I haven't sold him prematurely, but here's to hoping that he has a quiet game in the NLD.
All right. So I think we're pretty much at the end of the show. You guys have anything you wanna say?
What I'm going to say is thank you to our wonderful audience for more stats, more questions, more tweets, more comments than any other week. And also, I think more likes. The minute I asked for likes, there was like 9 of them came in within like 10 seconds. So that was pretty sound of you. So anyone who hasn't liked us and who enjoyed this program, just, give the video a like. We'd all appreciate that. But other than that, thank you very much for listening.
Absolutely, and the chat's been more boisterous. It's been more engaging. Thank you so much for all those that have watched from start to finish, or for bits and bobs. We'll be here hopefully after the international break. And yeah, thank you very much for subscribing and watching the show. And we hope it's beneficial to you. I can genuinely say that I learn something new every time I do this show. So thank you very much for this opportunity to broadcast live, hence FPL Live.
Yeah, this is it's a unique platform that we've got going. We're really excited about it. I want to quickly thank our sponsor for the prize tonight at Classic Shirts. Go down to their website. They've got a huge range of different apparel from pretty much every team you can think of. So go check them out.
Hear from them recently, is that right? What did you buy?
Say that again, Chief.
Did you buy recently from them?
Yeah, I did. I picked up a couple Spain jerseys. They looked like pretty good value. They had them in my size. I'm a pretty small guy. I wear a size small. So whenever I can find something that looks decent, I make sure to pick it up.
Excellent.
And they were really easy to use. So
can I just also add that if you do go on their website, use the code FPLH10 and you'll get 10% off your order. How about that?
Nice.
I have to say, I'm just getting it on record for anyone who actually watches this to the end. A dislike for Paye thing has now started. And so my request for likes, it went up as high as 24 likes and has now gone down to 21. No, I didn't fuel it. No more. I give up.
Oh, God.
8 dislikes. Oh, no.
But they're all for Paye.
Yeah, they're all for Pyatt.
That's
11. No, Chief, stop talking.
Okay, guys, we gotta end it before it gets ugly. All right, thanks for watching us, everyone. Stag, you have anything else you want to say?
Just good night, everyone.
Okay, guys, thanks for watching. Have a good week. Game week 11. Hope your points are good, and we'll see you after the international break. Thanks, everyone.
Captain Aguero.
Captain Aguero.
Captain Pyatt.
Wrong. See you guys.